I want to pass on this bread recipe that I've been making, and I'm getting a little bit better at it. I enjoy it, and I was hoping that maybe you guys might too. The reason I'm making bread and other kind of food videos, it seems kind of odd for a guy like me, but it's in the event that the supply chain does stop, you know, or it's interrupted. You know, I want to know how to make a loaf of bread, and I've been doing this and I'm getting better at it, and I have to make them in loaves of 3 now because they go really, really quick, and it's usually just me and my wife eating them, so I mean, we love it. The recipe I got was from a guy named Brian Lagerstrom. You can find him on YouTube. He's worth looking up. He goes through the entire process. I'm not going to do it. I like my videos to be under 3 minutes, and this young guy, he has the right touch. If you watch him, he'll show you exactly how to lift it and how to fold it and really make it into an excellent loaf of bread. If you don't feel like looking up Brian, which I recommend you do, I'll just give you guys the recipe that I use. You start with a Poolish, and what a Poolish is, it's a pre-ferment. It's where you take flour, water, and yeast, and you put it in like a container, just a regular like mixing container. You'll take a cup of flour, a cup of water, hot water, and like a 1/4 teaspoon of yeast. You'll put that in this and you'll mix it up real good. And then you'll cover that with cellophane and you'll let that sit for at least 4 hours. But try to set it overnight. Or let it set overnight. It's almost like I'm dyslexic. But after you let that sit overnight, it might even start to sound a little bit foul, because as the yeast sits, it'll start to give off an odor, and you'll think that it's bad, but it's not. Take a little rubber spatula and kind of stir it around, and you'll just gently kind of stir it around, and you'll see how it starts to incorporate again and mixes it. And then if you smell it, then it'll smell yeasty again. It doesn't smell kind of off. But this is for the Poolish, okay? And then what you want to do with the dough is you want to start out with, like, I used a larger container. And what I did was just, you take 1 1/4 cups hot water, you put that in with a 1/2 teaspoon of yeast, and then you take your Poolish that you let sit overnight and you pour that in here too. You mix that up with a spoon. Just get that really well mixed up so that the Poolish has a chance to mix with the water and the fresh yeast. Then you're going to take 2 1/4 cups all-purpose flour, put that in here with 1 1/3 cup whole wheat flour and 1 1/2 teaspoons of kosher salt. And you'll mix that all together with a metal spoon if you don't have a mixer, and I don't. So I just used a wooden spoon, or a metal spoon. Mixed it up really, really good. Once I got that done, you can just, the guy, like I said, Brian Lagerstrom, will show you how to form it into a really good loaf. As you can see, I just went round. So just keep folding it, doing it like this. If you're lifting the bread up and you're just folding it over and over and over, what you're doing is you're building layers, and you're helping the bread dough kind of get stiff, so it just won't flump down into a flat pancake when you go to bake it. But the way you bake it, I did one in a Dutch oven, and it came out like this. It's darker. And you bake it inside a preheated 500-degree Dutch oven. Let this preheat for 30 minutes. Stick it in it, and then you'll let it bake for 18 minutes. Take the cover off, and then let it bake for another 30 minutes at 500 degrees. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna wanna look at the loaf, and then once it starts getting that good golden color, it's really up to your preference, but I like it when it starts to get a good golden color, and that's what I'm shooting for. These two I did on a baking sheet, 500 degrees. I set the 2 loaves on it, and I let that sit for, it was about, well, they said 18 minutes, but with my oven, I had to let it sit another 30. So it was 40, almost 50 minutes that it took me to bake these 2 loaves. But that's the thing, is when you put it in there, just kind of keep an eye on it and see where it goes from there. But hey, like I said, the supply chain does get interrupted. It might be nice to know how to make a loaf of bread, and the way these turned out. I'd say it turned out fair. Might be a little doughy, but I like it. These will get eaten today. So, just a suggestion, guys. Hope you like it. Give it a shot. Makes the house smell wonderful. Take care.